Well. I just got off work and I'm trying to situate this phone a little bit here. My little holder's not really working so well anymore. Um, my reality projected as your truth. A lot of us learn things in life in general, and we like to take what we learn and make it seem as if it's somebody else's truth. I've been seeing, a lot of stuff over the years where people use clickbait titles to make it seem like they're more well informed. I've seen over the years where people almost lie in a truthful way, in an innocent way, but let's call it what it is, lie, to get the clicks, to get the subscribes, to get people to listen to them, to get people to almost believe or brainwash somebody to believe that they have somewhat of an authoritative mindset or information base compared to somebody else. One of the most ignorant people that I've heard lately is Dr. Joel Kahn. Um, Dr. Joel Kahn is a vegan doctor that just thinks, I think he honestly thinks this whole internet thing is a game. He's got some kind of agenda to play little games with Bart K, our nutritional science watchdog, a friend of mine, um, as much as he possibly can. It's all he wants it to be like two boys playing in the sandbox and fighting for the same toy kind of deal. It's just a big game to him when you start playing with people's health. So it's one of those things where uh, it's almost silly. I let myself get wrapped up in the middle of it sometimes and say stuff that I don't necessarily mean, where I mean, but I probably should be saying it something another way. But I've been listening to a few videos from Dr. Joel Kahn lately and Bart K. Basically defend their position in the carnivore and the vegan community. And Dr. Joel Kahn, I haven't I haven't heard more of an ignorant doctor, honestly, in my life. The guy just seems like he's so far out there. Uh, he's like in his own little world, and it's all a game to him. People's lives and nutrition and stuff is a game, and everything gets recited back to half truths and appeal to authority. All these different types of situations that he can appeal to or misconstrue is exactly what he does. His reality seems to be pushed on everybody else, and they should adapt to his reality, and that's just how it is. And because the American Heart Association says it has to be true to him. Because the American Diabetes Association says that it has to be true to him, they can't be wrong. Because Ansel Keys' finalized study he put out was a 7 country study, to him that has to be 100% truth, which it wasn't. It was never. It was 22 countries to begin with. And, the story goes when he realized that he could not support 22 countries, he cherry picked the data and he came up with 7 countries and he published a 7 country study. But Dr. Joel Kahn wants to use the half truth, the cherry picked data, the statistics, the status, what his reality is, to push on everybody else and call it a 7 country study that was originated, almost makes it seem like this is how it originated in its beginning form, and that's not how it was at all. I mean, the story, you can follow the story many times. He couldn't support the data that he said he could support to begin with, so he cherry picked what he could support and put it out in a study to give for information, and people bought it. Um, there were a lot of things that were not put in play here. Lifestyles, um, what kind of extracurricular things did people do? Did they smoke? Were they basketball players? Were they weightlifters? There were a number of things that can affect this. Um, I told Dave Feldman, when we were talking about my lipid profile, I said, Dave, I'm still easily 40, 50 pounds overweight. And I said, my cholesterol, my lipid panel is better than any vegan I've seen in most carnivore and keto. I've never seen another person, I think maybe one person, that had a better lipid panel than me, and I'm still overweight. And Dave said, what kind of lifestyle do you live? And I said, well, I'm a mechanic. I work on heavy stuff all day, every single day. Most of the time between 9.5, 11 hours, 12 hours a day. I'm constantly moving. Vehicles up in the air, vehicles down, doing recalls, doing all kinds of heavy stuff, going to the gym, constantly staying busy around the house till 9, 10 o'clock at night doing stuff. And he said, honestly, I think the reason why you have adapted to the lifestyle that you've adapted to is because you've geared your life in a different way than most people do. You're a heavy weightlifter for one. He said, I've seen this many times in heavy weightlifters. Their lipid panels, for some reason, seem to be very, very good. He said, I've seen to where people with lifestyles that stay very active, that are more into the strength side, the aspect of things, that they've got very, very good numbers. But you'll have these people that are super healthy, super lean out here, that are endurance runners, triathletes, and stuff like that, and their lipid panels are outrageous. And they live some of the healthiest lifestyles out there. They're some of the healthiest people in the world, but they don't have a lipid panel that supports that. Well, each one of those people have a different reality that should not be projected on somebody else. I can't come to you and say, well, I've got a 100 LDL score. Yours should be a 100 LDL score because I'm overweight and you're not, so you're wrong. It doesn't work that way. And I eat buku amounts of saturated fat every single day. I'm talking about even on my slow days, 2.5 pounds of meat per day. And I still have no cholesterol problems. I mean, if you consider 30 points over what the standard recommendation is, of course I have cholesterol problems. But if you break my numbers down into remnant cholesterol, triglyceride to LDL, or triglyceride to HDL ratio, all those things, um, my scores compared to most people, even like a lot of people brag about Ryan, just like I've said before, from Happy Healthy Vegan. He's got a great cholesterol score, people say. I compared mine to his best score and still destroyed his overall numbers. And people are like, well, that's true. Uh, I even had a vegan say, well, support your cause, prove it. Well, I made a video proving it, mine versus his. And the vegan actually seen the video and came back and said, well, I know it's anecdotal, but you can't lie when it comes down to numbers on paper. I mean, your numbers are better than his. So you're right. So no matter what you do at the end of the day, no matter how you try to support your cause, your theory, your hypothesis, whatever it is, in the vegan community, it's always going to come back to you might be right. You overall might be right on the overall health aspect of having a little bit of everything in your diet and getting rid of refined carbohydrates and sugar. But at the end of the day, you're still going to be wrong. And the reason why you're still going to be wrong is because it all comes back to ideology and ethics. You're still harming an animal and eating it for nutrition. So no matter how you support your cause or how healthy you are, no matter what the situation is, it's still not going to be good enough for it. You'll still lose the cause because you're doing some. So you should put your health in harm's way to support their ideology and what they want. That's just what it comes down to at the end of the day. That's why I try not to get wrapped up into this vegan versus carnivore keto stuff anymore until I see something that's so ignorant that makes me want to talk about it, and then I do. You guys know I try to stay out of it for the most part, but then I'll get in the mix every once in a while when things get outrageous, just like this Dr. Joel Kahn. I won't tell you what I called him on his YouTube, but let's just leave it at that. This guy's a buffoon. I don't know how he gets away with being on YouTube as a doctor, giving people information and stuff like that, and acting a fool and as childish as he does. But that's beside the point. My reality, or my life, cannot be your reality. My reality cannot be projected on you based on how I live my life, what my scores are, what my labs are, what food I eat, how I choose to do keto. Those things typically work for me, but they're not going to work for the next person. I could go eat Wendy's um, burgers with their processed nasty cheese every single day and go get my cholesterol tested and be completely fine with no problems at all. But you go try that and you're all over the place because it's processed. It's not clean. It's a dirty way of doing things. When you can do it, you can make better choices and do it at home and really put yourself into a better bracket or a better standing in your overall health. We're all individually different. I mean, there's not very much that one of us can say to the other person. I get a kick out of all these big YouTubers and stuff like that say the top 5 ways to do keto, the top 10 things that you should never add on a keto diet. So even my buddy Logan Sneed and Goody Beats, they both did a video talking about things that you should not and should add on keto. And I was able to pick apart almost all 10 of those items with important information they left out that they did not add in, bad information that they did not research, and cherry picked. Even though these are my friends, I kind of pointed it out right to them. You guys cherry picked this video. You talked about this particular brand putting out this particular product and it having this kind of sugar and stuff in it, but you didn't talk about there are a different variety of these. You can literally go get just a ham and cheese pack from Delshire Farms or something like that with no sugar, no additives, no nothing, but you chose to pick the one with the sugar, the cranberries, and all this other stuff in there. You cherry picked it. And I understand why, because you're doing it for video purposes, but you cherry picked it. And there were like 10 things that they did. And then when they came to almonds, oh, you know, eat this or that or whatever this nut was, and I actually looked into it, and I was like, dude, you guys know this nut that you recommended might be heart healthy, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not. Look at the omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. It's way off, and it's terrible. Look at the oxalate count and stuff, or, you know, how the anti-nutrient effect this could have on the body. So, yeah, you're recommending something, and you're giving somebody top 10, but I can take your top 10 and almost look at every single one of them and see a fault in what you've given as a top 10. You know, when you find somebody as me, that like me, that likes to sit in the background and be as critical as I am to see what information people have to put out and how smart they are, what are they gearing their content? What is their reality? Their reality is they want to put out good content for people, sometimes not 100% truthful, but it'll make people think, to make them to subscribe to that channel or join their plan. But at the end of the day, I can sit back and I can look and say, wait a second, you know, this content that you're putting out, yeah, it's content, and it might be all right for the average person, but Goody Beats, you've got 100 and some thousand followers. Logan Sneed, you're putting out a book. You guys are really looked up to here. You know, he's got 35,000. Let's not cherry pick stuff anymore. Let's not take little bits and pieces and put it together to make videos to make it seem like we're educated in this manner, when I can clearly sit back and see that you're cherry picking stuff to put it out. So it's not just the vegans that do it. I could look at Dr. Berry's videos. I can look at other videos from different doctors that are socially big and see that certain stuff is cherry picked. Certain stuff is skewed a certain way to make you think, make you subscribe, make you jump on board. But I can look at, you know, doctors like Dr. Eric Westman, where he's really soft-spoken and he flows with everything and he gives people options, and he's not big on, you know, telling people they're going to die from this and that and everything else, letting people make choices. I don't see so much of that with his channel. Dr. Jason Fung, I don't see so much of that with his channel. You know, Benjamin Bickman, I don't see so much of that with his channel. Dr. What is it, Nader Ali or Dr. Nader? I don't see so much of that with them channel. There are certain doctors and, you know, nutritionists, professionals, and big YouTubers, or even smaller YouTubers, where you don't see that kind of stuff with that channel. They literally sit down, they take pen, they put it to paper, and they actually look and they research stuff, and they spend hours doing this, everything. You know, even though I do have an issue with the way Frank Tefano's message comes across sometimes as a carnivore, the guy puts in a ton of research into what he does. He sits down for hours and writes and rehearses stuff. You know, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I'm a 100% Frank Tefano fan. I don't mind the guy. I think he's got his faults. I think he wants to be more accepted than what he actually, the amount of time and work that he has put in so far. But I like him. I think he does a lot of hard work, and he sits down and he researches and studies it. Those are the type of people I can see people subscribing and putting time into. But when you go to a scientific study and you're too busy of a person as it is, and you've got an MD in front of your name, and you do 10 minutes worth of work or 20 minutes worth of work, and I can look at your video and I can tell, wow, you didn't put very much effort into this at all. There's so much that you've missed. There's so much more important information that you could have put in there and taught people how to adapt that to their life, or what are the pros and cons, or what could you have added in to make sure this didn't happen. It's just not there. It's completely missing. And people they eat that stuff up. It shocks me. My reality should not be somebody. I shouldn't take my reality and project it on somebody else and make it almost seem like that should be their reality. The top 5 things that you shouldn't eat on keto. The top 5 best things that you should eat on keto. I mean, these are all clickbait titles. These are all, in the grand scheme of things, that's what it is. These are all clickbait titles. They're information that some people are spot on with some of the information that they give. But I find that there are a lot of people that don't take that extra time to say, you want to make a good quality video. Think about what you want to make today. Do a little bit of research tonight before you go to bed. Think about it tomorrow. Do a little bit of research before you go to bed. And take a few days to actually look at what you want to put out. So when you do put it out, it's that much more looked into, rehearsed, and the quality is just there. I find a lot of people want to put these videos out every single day, and they just miss so much when they put the videos out, when they could have done so much better and drew in a bigger crowd. I was watching a carnivore the other day. He literally has like 200 subscribers on his channel, and he's only been around for like 400 or 4 months. And he doesn't make a lot of videos, but when he does make videos, oh my God, just listening to the guy talk, I was like, wow, this guy's been watching and he's been looking at people, and he's really spot on with the recommendations that he made. He was like, if I was to ask, if you were to ask me what kind of carnivore doctor would you listen to, this is the doctor that I would recommend. If you wanted a YouTuber, this is the YouTuber that I would recommend. If you wanted to know about this, I could explain this to you. But if you wanted to know about this subject, I don't feel like I know enough about it, but I could point you to somebody that does really know a lot about it. Not that they're a professional in it, but they've studied enough on it to be able to explain it to you. And the guy really, really, really did his work, and I was amazed by it. Just this 20-minute video, I could have sat there for another hour and watched this guy, just because it really seemed like he put a lot of time into looking at the community, feeling things out, practicing the lifestyle, wanting to be part of the community, doing a little bit of his own research, and then helping where he felt comfortable helping. There are so many YouTubers that do this stuff, and they want their reality to be that they just want to be able to talk about and help every single person with every single thing. It doesn't happen that way. You can't do that. People come to me about type 1 diabetes, and I explain to them how a low-carb, ketogenic, or carnivorous lifestyle can fit and can be very helpful to them and help them live a long life with their situation. But I'm not the person to sit down and really tell you about a lifestyle that I don't have to live. That should be from somebody that lives that lifestyle, or a doctor that specializes in that, like Dr. Bernstein. Somebody that already has a plan and a protocol that has been working with type 1 people. There are a lot of people that try to bite off more than that they can chew, and they make all these videos about it because they're trying to crush all this stuff in. They want to be liked. They want to be subscribed to. They want people to follow them. I get it. But sometimes I see people doing too much. And that's why I've pulled back. I noticed I was doing too much. I want to be an inspiration to people. I want to teach people. I've had a lot of people come forward lately and say, just through your cooking and you being you and sharing your life with us and how you've calmed down over the last 6 months, it almost makes me feel comfortable watching you, and I learn from you. So I've learned to really focus on honing in on putting out good quality food for people, showing them how to cook it, maybe not even giving them complete directions, to inspire and entice them to use their brain a little bit more about the food that they eat. My Facebook has been blown up with food lately, and people were like, you know what, I really like this side of you. We've never seen these types of meals and stuff before, and this is great that I don't have to go buy a book to get it. You're just putting it out for free all over YouTube. I think about this stuff. Sometimes it just comes to me. Sometimes I'll sit down with Angie and we'll be talking about something, and I'll say, hey, what do you think about a pork rind casserole? And I'll come up with a pork rind casserole that puts some thought into it. What kind of things would people like, and what kind of things go with this dish? Maybe I could teach people how to eat healthier through my meals that I make, instead of yapping so much and talking like I'm some kind of, super, super high senior carnivore or keto person. I've been doing this longer than most of these people that we even watch on here. On and off. I can't say consistently because I haven't. It's been broken up a little bit, but overall, I've been doing this for years and years and years. I mean, there were times where I wouldn't touch a piece of bread, rice, pasta, or any kind of sugar. I just literally wanted meat for months and months and months, if not years. And that's what I did because that's how I felt healthy, especially in the military. But I don't come on here anymore and act like, you know what, I've got the answer for everything, because I don't. None of us do. And I think some of the YouTubers, if they would just focus on what they're really, really, really good at, like people have been noticing me a lot lately, even like authors and doctors and stuff like that that put out ads. I had two doctors message me in the last month saying, "Hey, could I buy a recipe from you? Could you like create a couple recipes for me and I'll actually pay you for those recipes?" And I tell them, no, absolutely not. I'm not interested in selling the recipes that I make. I put these on Facebook for people so I can give them to them for free and they don't have to pay other people for them. I don't want you taking my recipes and putting it on an ad and then lying to somebody else and making it seem like I created a recipe for you, you bought it from me, and now I can't even talk about it. I can't even recommend it for free anymore because now you own it. You bought it. You paid for it. I can't do anything with it. I don't want that. I want people to be able to get my information for free every single day if they want to. I want them to go on YouTube, on Facebook, whatever it is, and search me up. I don't want them to have to pay for stuff like that. I've turned down multiple offers of working with people. I had a guy, even Jimmy Moore, a few years ago. I want to say like a year and a half ago. He was really watching some of the stuff that I was doing, and Jimmy said, uh, you seem like you're really getting into stuff and you're becoming pretty knowledgeable. I see you helping people and stuff. Would you be interested in the Chicagoland area of maybe being a part of our coaching program? I've seen the weight that you've lost. I like the way you engage with people and stuff. I think you'd be a good coach for people. And I said, I'm interested, but then that just means I'm contributing to something that people have to pay for. And I'm not saying somebody's wrong for that. It's just not something that I'm into. I think that if you have knowledge and you have a gift, that should be shared with other people to help them inspire to figure out what their knowledge and their gift is. Maybe they're good at it too and they just don't know it yet. Maybe there's somebody like this carnivore that only had 200 subscribers on his channel that could really reach out and get this information to people, and maybe just his message, the way it comes across, can inspire other people, and he just doesn't have enough encouragement to really bring that out of himself yet. So, I had to leave a message on the guy's channel and say, dude, I really appreciate you taking the time to research like you do and be as knowledgeable as you are and put this information out and not trying to cram videos out every single day, because it shows through your content. It shows through the way you don't even have to look at a piece of paper. You've thought about it and you've done it over and over and over again, and it just flows with you. I really respect that from that guy, because that's something that people look up to. He's not out there trying to cram a bunch of information down their throat. It's a little at a time, but when he gives you that little bit at a time, it's something that he's really thought out. Even with my recipes and stuff that I make, I might think of a recipe right now. When I get off this camera on the way home, I'll think about it, and I'm like, you know what? Let me think about this for a few days to figure out. I forget the guy's name now. I gotta go back. I gotta go back into my liked and stuff and look at it. It might actually be called carnivore. I think it was something simple like carnivore or the carnivore or something like that. And the dude was like, he's got like an Irish accent or a Middle Eastern accent, or not Middle Eastern, but he's got like a European accent to him. And he was like walking out in the country and stuff like that, and it was nothing but dirt road and country. And he was making a really like personal video on his recommendations for who people should follow while they are on this journey. And it was really inspiring, the fact that he did not even have to look at anything. He was just walking peacefully, thinking, and just put out the information. And I was like, wow, man, this guy he's really trying. He said he even owns a couple businesses that he runs, and it's part of the reason why he's not on YouTube all the time. But just the fact that he really pays attention to what he wants to put out and inspires people through the quality of what he puts out. That's really. But he also said that, and I agree with him 100%. When it starts coming to the debates and tearing people down and everything else, I can't get into all that stuff. People will ask me, hey, did you see Tristan and Milk Jar and Bart K and Vegan Gains and everybody else? online last night debating. I don't care about that. Every once in a while, I might click on it just to see what it's all about, but about 3 or 4 minutes in, I've already had enough to where I don't even care about it. I might fast forward through it a couple places just to see what it's all about, but I'm just like this guy. When I get on, I want to get on and get some information, really hear what people have to say, and then move on. I don't want, I don't care about the fighting and the bickering back and forth and stuff like that. It's idiotic. Yeah, to me, it doesn't make any sense. But some people really find value and entertainment in that, and I know it can be somewhat good for the community because you want to see the differences in people and how they really push back, and sometimes it really shows where the knowledge comes from, or how much research and work somebody actually has put into what they do. Um, I don't care for it. I mean, I know some people like it. I don't. I don't really care for it because I feel like I could do better than most of the people that are doing the debating. I feel like as the debating's going on, things are just popping out of my head right away. Like, man, why didn't you bring this up? Why didn't you bring that up? Why didn't you bring this study up? Why didn't you talk about A1C? Why didn't you talk about leptin resistance? Why didn't you talk about, insulin resistance or ghrelin resistance, if there is such a thing, which there could be? Why didn't you talk about these other things? Why didn't you talk about lifestyle change and, when this happened? And people just miss so much, but when I'm watching these things, it just comes right out of my head. Like, I wish I was more of a debater. I've offered it to quite a few people, big name people in the vegan community especially. They will not debate me. They won't do it. I think it's because I come across like I do, and if I calm down some and I was more of a pushover, I think that they would debate me. But I've brought it up several times for certain doctors, YouTubers, and stuff like that. Well, if you really want to critique my videos and stuff like that, why not critique me live in front of everybody in person? Let's just do it. I'm not scared at all. I'm game. I'll take it right to you, dude. It doesn't matter to me. But here's the catch. This is why people typically don't want to debate me. I don't want your studies. I don't want your information. I want your work with people privately and the amount of work that you've put in with people that you've seen change, and I want to see the impact that you've made on those people's lives because I've got years of online data that I can show you. I will invite you onto my group. I will invite you into my life on my personal page, and I'll let you see the hundreds and thousands of people that I've worked with that have messaged me and said, thank you for changing my life. Thank you for doing this type of thing for me with no monetization involved, no money involved. I want our debate to be based on the quality of life, how people's lives have changed, and what lifestyle they've lived to get there. So, regardless if it's vegan or it's carnivore, I want those two bits and pieces of information and our experience back and forth to come together, and that will be the debate. Real life experience, real anecdotal evidence, because it has to start somewhere. That's where it starts. It starts with an idea, it starts with having to disprove something. So when you have to disprove something and you do it, it rolls from there. There are many people that did not believe me that this lifestyle was healthy, and they said, okay, we'll give it a chance. They give it a chance, and 6 months later, they've lost 30 pounds, 40 pounds, 50 pounds, and they're like, oh my God, man, I would have never believed that eating this much saturated fat actually had no negative effect on my health at all. That's how I want to debate. I don't want your studies that you've rehearsed or the many times you've used over and over again. I want me and you based on individual coaching, real life experience, and people's lives that we affected. That's what the debate will be based off of. Nothing else. They won't do it because at that point they have nothing to go off of. I've messaged Vegan Gains on his channel more than once and said, your real life coaching, real life experience, and the amount of people you've changed in their lives, and what you do for the community publicly and socially, internet wise, all that rolled into one. Let's go. I'll show you videos of me in public. I'll show you me in public, in stores, witnessing to people. I'll show you my conversations online, bring you on my private groups and stuff, and show you what I've done. And then we'll let that speak for itself and how you've affected the community, and let's go. My reality cannot always be somebody else's truth, but what they can do is they can be inspired by somebody like me or you or anybody else to make their own truth happen. Anyhow, that's enough of that. This weekend, Saturday, no, Sunday. No, no. Saturday. I took Angie, the new girlfriend, to the Machine Shed. It's a country style restaurant with like farmers equipment and stuff, and old farmers like stuff hanging on the wall and everything else. Really nice place. And we sat down, and something I've been really wanting to get off my chest. Um, I just she wanted to get on her phone and look at the times for like a movie or something like that. I said, no, 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 no. Put your phone down. I want to talk to you about something. I want to be serious with you for a second. So she put her phone down, um, and I just looked her straight in the face and I told her, I said, I've got something I've been really wanting to tell you. I've fallen in love with you a while ago, and I just don't know how to just come out and say it. So I just want to tell you that I'm in love with you. You have been the best person in my life for a long time. Everything that I do, I always kind of think of what would you say? What would you think? Is this good for us? Would this be good for our future? And the things that I do in life now are based around thinking about you. So this is primarily the reason why I know that I'm in love with you. And it was kind of an emotional moment because it's been a long time since I've been able to tell somebody that I actually care so deeply that I'm in love with them. I don't love the idea of them. I'm in love with them. And she already knew. I think because of how I treat her and the actions behind what I do, she already had an idea. I mean, she already felt it. She said, I know. And she said, I love you too. It's just, we just never said it to each other. And she's a great, great, great woman. That's when I knew that I was really in love with her and not infatuated with her. There's a difference. A lot of people become infatuated with somebody and they think that it's love, but a lot of the things that they do in life don't reflect that. When you love somebody, not only do your thoughts wrap themselves around that person and the idea of them, the actions that you do in life and the way that you perceive things in life and the decisions that you make in life are also somewhat geared or considered or wrapped around or used in the idea of that person some way, some fashion. And it doesn't just come from feelings. The feeling was already there. The infatuation was already there. But when I started noticing the things that I do, the way I decorate my house, the things I buy for my house, the way I dress, the way I carry myself, the things that I say, how I can open up to people and stuff like that, and the way I carry myself at work was changed, and it has changed, made me 100% feel comfortable with telling her, I love you. I don't like you. I love you. And I feel like you are the center of my world right now. And I want it to stay that way. I'm okay with that. That's how I knew, and I couldn't wait anymore to tell her that. So I got that off my chest, and I'm glad. I was, I was so nervous, but I had to say it. I couldn't wait anymore. It was one of those things where it had to be the right moment, the right time, the right place, and I just told her. So that's a big change in my life because uh, that's the first Sunday was the first day that she stayed at my house on a Sunday, and then drove to work Monday morning instead of going back home. So I think there's a little change there. I think she's feeling more and more and more and more comfortable around me, and I think she wants to be around me more than what we are around each other because we get along great. Our personalities are too much alike at times, but definitely doable. She she's very very outspoken. She's not afraid to. She's got a sadistic type uh, sense of humor to her sometimes, and I like it. I definitely like it. She, I don't know. She's just her own self, and it could be something silly we could be talking about, or not even that. She could walk in the kitchen and I'll be doing something, and she'll ask me a question, and I don't know why I find this funny, but it's funny, and some of you may not like it. I'll answer the question, and she'll be like, well, duh, bitch. I'm like, huh? You just you just called me that again, and she's like, yeah. What are you gonna do about it? And I'm like, okay, I can dig it. I can dig it. I'm not offended by that. And then one day, we were playing the game or something like that at the kitchen table, and she was supposed to pay me some kind of money based on the turn, and the turn ended and it became her turn. And she said, no, that's not how you play. Even if it's in the rules and I owed you money on your turn, you didn't catch it, we're already on to my turn. That's not how people play games. And I said, well, wait a second, it's in the rules. It says if you roll nine, you must pay the person $20,000 if you roll nine, and you rolled nine. My career is this card, and it says nine. You rolled it, $20,000. But it was after my turn. It didn't say after your turn the person doesn't get $20,000. And she was like, no. People know when you play games, that's just etiquette. That's game etiquette. You didn't catch it on your turn. It's my turn now. Try again, bud. And I was like, what? No, I like playing by the rules, regardless of whose turn it is. That's still a rule. So she stands up for herself, and it happened again. And I was like, man, you're a dick when it comes to games. And she wasn't offended by it at all. She was like, okay, so what? She doesn't care. Yeah, she's not a person that gets easily offended by other people saying stuff to her like that. You would really have to deliberately be mean to her in order to make her emotional about something. Uh, but name calling or something like that out of play, regardless of how bad or how good it is, she's not offended by that at all. It's not her. She's not the type of person to get all wound up in that kind of stuff. She's sensitive, but she's not sensitive. She's like the perfect balance of asshole and angel, like put together, and not a very lot that offends her. So, I mean, I think this is for now. This is looking like this is a good deal for me. This is going to be something for the long haul, if you know what I mean. And I'm hoping that just taking it slow and just letting it grow and nourishing it and just continuing to do what I do based on my relationship with her and keeping her at the top of where my decisions are uh, is going to be very, very good for us. Very good for me. And it's definitely helped me become a better person and a person that makes better decisions based on the lifestyle and the people that are in my life, especially her being, you know, center top of everything. So that is, it's very good for me. Uh, it's helped me out quite a bit, just in calming down in certain situations. So that's the update. I told her I loved her. She said it back. We meant every bit of it. It shows. She shows it. I show it. We don't even have to say it to each other. Um, that's the newest update in my life, and basically that's all I got for you guys today. If you want, I'll wait about 15 to 30 seconds to see if anybody has any questions, or maybe somebody wants to talk about something before I get off of here, because I won't be on here for a couple more days. I don't want to make these every single day. I want to space it out so I can give you guys better quality, and that's kind of what I'm looking for now. So if you got questions, shoot them. If not, say say bye and have a great evening, and I'll see you guys in a couple days whenever I come back. So we're at 58, and I'll just wait a little bit right now. Okay, guys, I hope you have a great evening. Um, Remember to keep your content your content. If you got something to say, you got something to talk about, be true to what you want to talk about. Don't play the cool guy. Don't try to don't try to play the I fit in with the in crowd. Be you. Honestly, be you. If you're a jerk, be a jerk. If you're sensitive, be sensitive. Just be you. Don't try to fit anybody else or be anybody else. Just be you. Thank you. I love you all, and God bless.